I think it all looks pretty good. To be honest, yeah. Um, yeah. I mean, Tezos. I mean, there's a lot of them that look really good today. Let's see. Usually don't use. Man, I don't even know what it's gonna look like. I haven't looked at a lot of these charts on Optima for a bit because I've got the wrong workbook pulled up, but that's all right. Um, and daily, right? Oh God, Peter Schiff, what are you saying? One of the biggest lies told in the fake documentary "God Bless Bitcoin" is that no one has an unfair advantage. That everyone in Bitcoin is equal. As with any pyramid scheme, those who got in early at lower prices have a huge advantage over those who got in later at higher prices. By that definition, why invest in anything? I think that guy stopped being a Solana flipped BNB. Actually, I better write something about that in write something about that. Hmm. Yeah, that's new. I don't know, did it? Let's see. Taking a peek here. Yeah, I'll go over Ethereum's chart here in a second, but I just wanted to take a look at uh I gotta do a and I gotta pin it to the stream. All those fun things about doing stuff. Pin it to all of the crypto streams on stock, but because it is kind of a big deal. Who knows how long it'll last? I mean, there's a lot of reasons why that's the case. Actually, honestly surprised that BNB has lasted where it has and how it's done so well. Um, Considering all the regulatory hoo ha. All right, so Ethereum, Ichimoku system looks pretty nice here. Yes, I, I think you can do spaces at the same time. Hmm. Yeah, I can do both at the same time. Works out great. I was gonna do the green screen, but I'm wearing a green shirt. Actually, I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what happens if I put the filter on. What is it gonna do? Uh, Actually, it looks okay. Not too bad actually. See how we'll see how well that lasts. looks just grainy for some reason. No, there's there's not a lot to that. Yep. Oh yeah. So yeah, what I think is really nice about the setup here, something similar that I wrote about Bitcoin's chart is that so this is called a Kumo twist, and that's when you have Senko span a move above or below B, and it basically when it changes color. Now the cool thing is we know about these things way ahead of time. Specifically, we know about them 26 periods ahead of time, so we know when they happen and rid of that there and change up the uh, hard. There we go. Yep, it's weird. I don't know why it does that. No idea. Sure, a little funky. Okay, so yeah, the what's nice about this is like the cloud itself was a huge area of resistance and support. Specifically, the Senko span Bs. That's the strongest level support resistance within the Ichimoku system. So it's a big area to. It's hard to move through it. In other words, now what is cool about it is that even though it's hard to move through, it's like the closer the lines are together, the weaker that resistance is. Um, that's the that's how I interpret it, and especially when you have when price is moving, and it's close to the point of the twist, so where that crossover happens, this little spot in here, um, it acts like a mushroom in Mario Kart, where it'll burst out above it very fast. This is where you see very swift moves and drive. So that's what I'm looking out for here. How's the rest of the market looking? Bitcoin's up 2.5. Cardano's up. I mean, things are down a little bit from where they were at the peaks. Cardano's back inside the cloud. Cardano, of course, has Chang hard fork, which is the final leg of their move. Ethereum 2.1. Ripple down a little bit today. Bezos at the high of the day is not looking too bad. Stellar Zcash. Privacy coins have done very well lately, like Zcash, Monero. Well, actually, not Monero. Jesus, got hammered down again. Near Protocol has been hammered lately, but it's looking a little better. Render's up 10% today. Damn. Any of the other one, like what is FET doing? FET's up 5.96%. It's pretty good. Bitcoin, wunderbar. Yeah, this is like yeah, this is a good example of what I was just talking about on Ethereum's chart. You see where the cloud here where that Kumo twist occurred, it's very thin when prices move up and out of it. And there's just been a lot of really good examples lately of the strength of the Ichimoku system. You've got this really nice breakout above the cloud, followed by a retest of Senko Span B, which held as support. Um, the price bounced right off the Senko Span A. Again, Senko Span A here yesterday. I mean, that has existed for 26 days ahead of time. It's not like it just showed up. That has been a level that, obviously traders who utilize Ichimoku, of which there are quite a few, have used that to their advantage. There's hidden bullish divergence present. It's just all around on the daily chart. At least looks really nice. AVAX is looking pretty good too. It just got really rejected right as it. I mean, as we're going through the charts, I think you're just seeing really great examples of um, how useful the Ichimoku system is and how uh, consistent it is with the theory behind it and how it works. Yes. Yeah, there's a space going on for it too. I just got that set up. Yeah, I wanted to start this all um earlier, but it didn't we just had a lot of stuff happening at StockTwits with like redoing um not redoing, but like organizing, not even organizing, but like trying to put some focus on other things at the same time. I mean, you know, for the stock market, we've got earnings calls are live now. So that's pretty awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of pretty sweet stuff coming out on the app and the web version. Our product lead guy, Boz, is like really, really putting stuff out there hard. Mm. Yeah, it's on YouTube and uh forget where I multi-stream these two. I gotta get them set up a little bit better. Yes. You could yeah, I mean, let's take a look at it. So let's go to Bitcoin's chart. It's a cycle drive. That's what you're looking at. And this is Bitcoin's monthly chart. I mean, that is pretty dense. I mean, when you look at it on a monthly perspective, you go, okay, March, January through March, actually October of last year to uh March was great, but then things haven't moved much since then. Like, is that an inside? Yeah, last month was an inside candle. This is not an inside bar. Um, it's done pretty good as far as, I mean, you just have to look at the ETF volumes. They're pretty massive. Yeah, we can look at some of those right now. Arkham Intelligence. Look, I mean, you could just look at Bitcoin's inflows. So let's just look. So this is what let's go to. I think it was like the 18th is or something. So let's just look at how much Bitcoin was in the IBIT ETF prior to, God, I can't remember the date. So this is BlackRock's IBIT. All right. On the 16th of January, 2024, they had 2,620 Bitcoin. All right. That's it. 2,620 Bitcoin. It's kind of silly, to be honest, how little there was. Then you switch on over to, let's look at February. Let's go like 1 month from there. They added 106 um, Bitcoin. And then fast forward to where we are now. We are 7 and what is it, 26th today? You got to be careful with some of these because I'm not sure how Arkham does it, but if you look at, I think is it Fidelity or no, I think it's Bitwise is one where if you select the date that it is, it'll show like that they sold half or all of it. Doesn't matter the day you do it on. I've just noticed I don't think that's a bug. It's just something on how they calculate the holdings. Maybe it is a bug. I don't know. Um, so since then, they had 111 million worth of Bitcoin on the 16th of January, and now they have 22 billion. They have 332,810, and a lot of that go to the 19th, just within the last week. We've had some pretty nice. Yeah, they've added 11,600 Bitcoin this week. That's nuts. Ever since July, they've added. Yeah, they've like grew their Bitcoin holdings by almost 10% so far. Got a few more days left in July, but yeah, that's BlackRock for you. Contrast that. We don't have to look at grayscales, but contrast that with grayscales. I mean, like basically BlackRock has bought up everything that Grayscale has sold. Grayscale started off with like 660,000 Bitcoin. Now they have like 250, 230. What do they have? Where is your? They have. Oh, sorry, it was a little higher than that. 275,000 Bitcoin is what they have left. But they've just been net sellers since the ETFs came out. So that is what's happening there. Yeah, I think you can. Sure. That's up to you. So, oh, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, Ethereum. We can go back to Ethereum. This is Optima. Yeah, it's Murphy 222 asks, is this like TradingView? It is like TradingView. It's just it's just a lot more expensive. This is quote professional analyst software. There's a lot of like modules that you can add to it. Yeah, I'm a big Ganist and cycles guy, so I enjoy different modules that they have here. They have different ones for like people who use astronomical cycles. I'm talking about the science of astronomy, not astrology. Um, it's pulled from NASA's Jet Propulsion Labs (JPL). Um, you can. I think I just had a chart up about it. Like, where'd you go? No, not this one. Oh, sorry, it was on Bitcoin's chart. Yeah, I mean, some people roll their eyes at this stuff, and especially for people who say that technical analysis is like astrology for men. That's fine. What chart is it on? Oh, it's right here. Yeah, this is. It's always weird to go over this stuff without any like segue or explanation, but somebody's asked me about it. This is every 72. So if you look at a circle, all right, it's 360 degrees around. If you cut it into fifths, that's called a quintile. So if you quint cut, I don't know if a quarter cut, quintile cut, quint cut, whatever. Um, this is the uh, movement of this is the movement of the planet Venus, uh, and this is the degrees of where it's at around the sun. I think this is heliocentric, right? Yes. So as it's rotating around the sun, this is every 72 degrees. So, and for whatever reason, and I don't know why it is, no idea. I'm not saying that this is why it does it, but I'm just saying that for whatever reason in Bitcoin's history, every 72 degrees of Venus, there tends to be some type of um there's not every time. It's my son yelling at me over here. What is that? Oh, I can't get anything here, buddy. I'm working right now, buddy. Um, there's a there quite often there's a major minor swing high and low around that period, but and that is derived from here's the map of the solar system. Cool fact. Um, hard to see it from here, but because of just how the scale is, but all of the planets fit in between the distance between the Earth and our moon. So you can fit all of them in between there. So yeah, that's the software. It's not the only thing that it does that it's just it does. So yeah. Now let's go back to trading view here. Cardano, just that yesterday's light paper was all on focused on Cardano because the Chang fork, the node 9.1 is out, and now we just have to wait for at least 70% of the stake pools and 80% of the liquidity swap over, and then at that point, then it's up to the community. Uh, it's up to the hodlers to take over from there. So, and in a lot of ways, that's already kind of been the case. With the tip of my tongue, how things are funded, projects are funded, catalyst voting. So that is there. And I just learned today that basic attention token, you can transfer the awards to a Solana wallet. I did not know that. Doge. Somebody wants me to look at Doge. Yes, we can look at Doge. Just did a write up on Doge on X. Not too long ago. Let me find it here. Yeah. Hold on. Let me. Oh, I forgot. Shit. Okay. Um, where's that? Articles and published Doge. Yeah, this was on the 18th, so 8 days ago. Oh, okay, so yeah, here let's look at the article. Zoom in. I just want to go to the there it is, view article. All right. So Doge finally looks hot. This is from the 18th. I posted. From a time cycle perspective, Doge is currently sitting at the very end of its normal range to retest prior all-time highs. Uh, and if you consider what I meant by that is if you look at Bitcoin's historical moves, its historical cycle moves, um, uh, then what you have is we're kind of sitting right at that spot for there to be the beginning of like the big shift higher, because 6 months to 12 months after Bitcoin's having the whopping four that we've had historically, we don't see the big drives higher until 6 to 12 months after, specifically like 12 months after. So that's what we're looking at, and Dogecoin as well is its own cycles kind of coincide there. But when I was looking at it, this is the chart I post. One of the charts I posted. From an Elliott wave perspective, the price action wise, this is what it. Those are the levels. Elliott wave projections could range at. You could see it halt around that 29.5 cent range, or as high as the 56.5 cents. And from a time cycle perspective, the high is likely to be found in somewhere between mid-November and mid-December. Excuse me. And let's see, probably won't see. Well, the most likely time that we would see Dogecoin begin to drive higher is around the week of August 12th and August 26th. And why is there such a range in there? Because depending on your time frame, August, when you say something like could move somewhere between August 12th and August 26th, some people will go, oh my God, why is there such, why could you be more specific? Well, I mean, if you're, depending on how long you've been in trading and investing, that's pretty specific. But if you're like a day trader or somebody trades on like, a scalper, that kind of range, it doesn't really matter to you. But the reason why is because of the Ichimoku system, and for Doge, because when we get to the week of August 12th, that's when you see this event happen. You see this really thin cloud here where that's pointing, sloping up. That's a big deal because there was an Ichimoku analyst, Manesh Patel. Hold on. Yes, I do. Manesh Patel. It's not the best Ichimoku book, but there is one thing that he discovered or not discovered, but maybe observed, and he didn't even like really call a lot of attention to it. But I called it his two cloud theory. In a nutshell, this is what he made the point of saying is that expect big moves to occur if the future cloud is thin, which it is. So this would be the future cloud. The future cloud is what's all the way up here. All right, on the right side of the screen. That's the future cloud. Is it thin? Absolutely. It almost doesn't exist. Senko span A and B are on top of each other. So if the cloud is thin, and if span A and B are pointing in the direction of the cloud, so if the future cloud is green and thin, which it is, when you see this happen, that's when big moves occur. So that's why I'm saying that between the weeks of August 12th and the 26th is when we could see. I mean, if it hasn't moved higher by then or started to push higher, that is the next most likely time for it to occur. Um, so yes. And let's see here. Detrended price Celia, blah blah blah. Oh yeah, I did a point figure look at it too. And actually, I don't think where's Doge here? Yeah, it did break out, pulled back. Oh, that's called a fake out pattern. Anyways, uh, yeah, my I can hear my wife pretty frustrated upstairs. Both kids are. If you have kids, ours are 4 and 2. Um, that 4-year-old stuff is no joke. All right, so that is what's happening with Doge. And yeah, the other thing, like I really, really, really like Doge here. Um, like, like it's just really, really awesome. I mean, especially if you're, I mean, if you're a Doge fan or if you just like meme coins in general, it is in a fantastic position uh, for a couple reasons. I mean, fundamentally, just for a couple reasons. Uh, One, it's like the only meme coin that has had any legitimate staying power for many years. It's in the top 10 market cap, and relative to the other um, crypto meme coins, it's lagging its peers by a pretty good amount. And when Dogecoin finally does pamp, it pamps up pretty damn nicely. Mm-hmm. Gotta make sure this is on. Coffee. Right. Yeah, you can yeah, message on and there's I'm only monitoring really not much. I should monitor X and YouTube streams, but have to be more consistent to make them active. All right, so yeah, time cycles. Let's talk about those. But first, I'm probably going to do this every day, not every day, but at least a couple times a week. I want to go over this. So let me grab the book quick. All right. So without going into like a bunch of long-winded descriptions into GAN analysis, I just kind of want to show you an example of its strength and why GAN analysis isn't like so much about angles. Like if you look at TradingView, you've got all these tools, right? You've got all these uh I mean if we just get rid of the cloud there. Like it, TradingView has a bunch of tools that are really not GAN tools, but like there's the GAN box. Um there's GAN square fixed, which is probably one of the most useful ones. But these aren't really necessarily tools that GAN used. GAN focused on time being the most important factor. So, uh, one of the greatest living GAN analysts, Connie Brown, she she was a contributor to like these many. There's well, I guess not many. There's like one, two. I guess it's not important how many there are. There's like um 9 to 10 authors that contributed to this book called uh, Breakthroughs in Technical Analysis, New Thinking from the World's Top Minds. Now, this came out in 2007 by Bloomberg Press. You can go online and look at this yourself. I'm just going to show you. Where's that? Uh, where's the 2007? Wait, is that the publishing date? Where's it at? Hold on. That's also available from Bloomberg. I don't want that. I want the actual. Okay, first edition. That's what it says. Published 2007. Right. So, with all these authors, probably have their own writing styles, their own specifics. The guy who edited it, David Keller, this probably took, after getting stuff back from the contributors, probably took a number of years before it even went to the publisher for the publisher to edit. But I want to turn to what Connie Brown wrote about Gann's time analysis, and so again, this is in 2007. And this is what she wrote. Gann's methods warn that the years 2008 to 2012 will be difficult ones. Right? Cool. Yeah, I mean, but a lot of people were like worried about that beforehand. But I bet not a lot of people were like, I bet like 2019 is going to be pretty crazy. 2019 to 2021, I bet that'll be pretty nuts. Yeah, this was published in 2007. So it's probably like started work on it in 2005. And this is what Connie Brown wrote. I know. Oh, the filter's messing it up. Let me turn it off. Oh, not make it worse. This is what she wrote. You can see Gann's methods warns that the years 2008 to 2012 will be difficult ones. There will also be an economic contraction that will be felt globally between 2019 and 2021. Don't know about you. That's pretty freaking crazy. That is Gann analysis in a nutshell. Looking at things from a time perspective as opposed to just a price perspective. Sorry, there were some questions here. Let me look at those. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So, oh man, that's like a whole different. That's a whole different. That's like a whole different thing. um, you wouldn't want to. You'd have to take notes. I mean, it's not Gann analysis isn't exactly something that you pick up over a few weekends or a month, and then like you've become proficient in it. Connie Brown, who spent her entire life, studying Gann's methods, she's even, she's pretty humble with. It's one of those things where like the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know. Um, that's that's one of the things. Oh, let's see. Hold here. What says? Robert F. Kennedy just tweeted, I'm in it to win it. I lead in popularity and independents are now the largest voting bloc. Momentum is shifting in my favor as I close in on ballot access in all 50 states. I look forward to challenging President Trump and the DNC nominee at the next debate. That he just responded to a comment from somebody claiming that he was going to drop out and endorse Trump. I mean, I think if he does drop out, that's going to be the what he'll do. Hmm. Yeah. No, you can't like there's a lot of books out there. I mean, I don't want to get on like the whole GAN trope here. There's got people got some questions about um could you let's see what's this person say? Oh, where is that at? Oh my god, too many screens and windows. Could you explain a little bit more about Ichimoku? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've got time. I mean, it's and Friday, and you've got the conference going on right now. Let me pull it up here. And I have not looked at this slide presentation in a long time. Wait a minute. I want to move that. What? Bear with me while I change that up. I am going to window capture. It's going to be sorry, display capture. Not that one. Not that one. There it is. Okay. Now we can do it. Yeah, so yeah, this let me just zippity doo dah through this real fast. All right, so yeah, Ichimoku, Kinkahyu. We don't have to go through blah blah blah. That's what it looks like. Okay, so there's really oh yeah, this is the one that it's really into the nitty gritty. We don't want that. Oh yeah, why it's awesome. Really like this is what Ichimoku is great for. Identifies equilibrium zones, identifies past and future support. And really what makes it unique is that there's not a lot of trading systems that plot out into the future, like turning things into leading indicators as opposed to lagging indicators. And then some people will argue, like, well, yeah, but you're using lagging data, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but, let's not get into the. So what are the cool things about the Ichimoku system? It's autonomous. It is essentially the upgraded form of Japanese candlesticks. And what I mean by that is Goichi Hosada, who created the Ichimoku system, he created it to, yeah, basically improve upon um, Sakata's original work in the uh, late 1600s. Yeah, no, 1700s. I forget. Candlesticks predate the Meiji Restoration, so it was before the 1800s. Uh, but um, he really intended this to be the new candlestick chart, where you use Japanese candlestick. Oh, the state of Michigan adds Bitcoin ETFs to its pension fund. I live in the state of Michigan. Um, so yeah, that's it. Basically, if you think about it, if you are using candlesticks and not the Ichimoku system, that's like using Windows 3.0 while Windows 11 is out. And Ichimoku system is made up of 5 components. I usually use the Japanese names. One of the things that makes it hard to learn this is that not a lot of people use more than one piece of trading software. Most people who are new to the space, technical analysis and trading use TradingView, which they should because it is such a great platform. But TradingView uses the English translations as opposed to the Japanese named. I I prefer the well. I guess I don't prefer either one, but yeah. So Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen, Sega Span A, B, and the Chiku Span. We can go through all of those really quick because they're not just moving averages. All right. Um, because when you look at how the lines move, they have like these flat periods and the sharp move, and then they'll be flat sometimes. They are moving averages, but they're not calculated the same way that we do moving averages, like in the West. Um, Japanese analysis is very much about um, equilibrium, about things finding a balance. You have you have a lot of you have a lot of I think a lot of people struggle with Japanese candlesticks because we apply a lot of Western theory and approach to how we do our technical analysis of financial markets, and Japanese analysis allows for a lot more interpretation. It's more flexible, whereas Western analysis is very like heavily rules based, like do this, not that, you have to wait for this, have to wait for that. Um, that's that kind of a thing. Um, but anyway, so the conversion line or the Tenkan-sen, um, it's the fastest and weakest line. It's a 9 period moving average, and like I was saying, and when we calculate moving averages, like an EMA or a simple moving average, we take the close of the last X amount of periods, and then that whatever the average of that is, that's plotted. Um, with the Ichimoku system, the moving averages, we don't do it like that. We take the midpoint of the high and the low for the, and that's the case for all of these lines. It's the midpoint of the high and the low. So um, for the Tenkan Center, the kid or the conversion line, it's the highest high and the lowest low of the last 9 periods, whatever the midpoint is. That's how it's plotted. And one of the things about the conversion line or the Tenkan-sen, one of the ways to think about it is not only as a level of support and resistance, but it's more like the momentum, short term momentum indicator of the Ichimoku system. Um, so depending on how that line slopes, that is telling you how strong the drive is. Right. Then we get to the baseline. The baseline is for people who like to trade intraday with the Ichimoku system. The baseline is the bread and butter for them. It's medium term movement. So, so we calculate the same way we do with the conversion line. You take the highest high and the lowest low of the last 26 bars. The midpoint of that is how it's plotted. Um, Provides a lot of entry exit signals. There's a kind of a range, and I meant to change this because I've changed how I use this now. I meant to do this for the Tankinson, not for the Kitchenson. But look at any chart if you are familiar, or you are rather if you're new to Ichimoku, get rid of everything on the chart except the Kitchenson, and then take a look at it. So because there's a certain range that an instrument will move from that level before it really wants to come back to earth, and we'll get over it. We'll go through that a little bit later. Again, this is hard to like go through fast, but the conversion line, the baseline, their relationship, again, like the Kitchenson, if you're looking for something let's say a short-term moving average or short-term level of support and resistance, I think the Kitchenson is better than the conversion line or the Tenkinson, because the conversion line is really, I, I try not to look at it as a level of support and resistance. I look at it more of a uh, as a, again, like the momentum indicator of the system. And here's the other thing: like there's a lot of Ichimoku trading systems that like say this is a strategy. This is a horrible strategy. The moving average crossover systems, they suck. Uh, and just because this one's in the Ichimoku system doesn't mean it's good. Yeah, you don't. You don't want to use the crosses of the Tenkan-sen and the Kijun-sen as a signal for trading. It's just not a good idea. Um, this is showing the date range between May 13th, 2019 and August 19th, 2019. Wow, I need to update that chart. 5 years ago this has been. Jeez. So I took that same time period, brought it down to an hourly chart, and just look at how many crosses there are of the conversion line over the baseline and under it. They're all over the place. I mean, these arrows don't even point to all of them, but they're all over the freaking place. I mean, your account would be drained just from all the entries and exits. But one thing I will say, actually, I'll just get to this point here, is that, blah, 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 blah. Compared to on the hourly chart, there's like 50 crosses. Moving average crosses over systems are a great way to lose money. One thing I will say about that, though, is if you look at longer time frames, like the weekly chart, and for some people, the daily chart is a long-term time frame too. But if you notice, this is kind of my rule of thumb that I follow, is if there's a crossover of the conversion line and baseline, if the last cross was 90 days or greater, that's probably something to pay attention to. That's not saying that there's going to be a big change in trend, but it could be indicating that there's a correction coming up, or that has already been developed. So depending on the length of time the last cross happened on a daily or higher time frame, that's something I do try to look at. Otherwise, not worth looking at. Let's see. Oh yeah. There, I wrote this when Game of Thrones was still thing. The cloud. Cloud is cool because, there's a lot of trading systems that like tell you when not to do, or to tell you when to do something, I should say. Not a lot of systems that tell you when not to do something. And in fact, like they specifically say, don't do anything, because everything bad in the world exists in the cloud, like mayo and peanut butter toast. I don't even remember what I used. The United Nations, communism. Who's that? Oh, that's David Epstein. I totally forgot what pictures I put in these. It's been a while. Hitler, AIDS, racists, Hamas, COVID-19, Vladimir Putin, sexually transmitted diseases, cilantro, wasps. Okay, I think I made the point, Gary Gensler. It's funny. I haven't looked at this in a long time. My point is that everything bad in the world exists inside the cloud. You don't want to participate inside the cloud. But it's made up of two components, okay? Senku Span A, Senku Span B, or Future Span A, Future Span B. Some charting software just calls it Span A and B. And these are like, this is really what, people who aren't familiar with Ichimoku but have seen it probably think of the most. It's this blob of color on the screen that looks like somebody spilled ink on it. Span A is the green line, and this is always like hard to describe, but actually I should just pull up a chart here. Let me find one that doesn't use Bitcoin's chart. So let me pull that up here. All right. So this is the Ichimoku system, Bitcoin. And let's just make sure we look at this definition here. Wait. Oh. And I want. So Span A is the fast line. It measures the market's balance and past volatility. It is the average of the conversion line and the baseline. So, and it's projected forward 26 periods. So what the hell does that mean? That's a lot of gobbledygook, and it could be very hard to picture what that says. If you're looking at the Ichimoku system here, let's get rid of the price chart. If I can, right? All right, there we go. So all we're left with are these lines, and I can make these the thickest they can get. Make it a little easier to see. So the green line up here, that is Senku span A. All right. So when A is below B, you see the red space. When it's above B, it's the green space. Senku span A is the midpoint of the current conversion line / Tenkan-sen here and the Kijin-sen baseline down here. So 50% of the range, whatever the midpoint is, this is a fib. And this is set to logarithmic, but at the point. Halfway between the midpoint of that projected forward 26 periods, that's how that is plotted. So when we get to 26 days after today, this will be the midpoint from 26 periods ago. All right. So again, really kind of hard to wrap the head around that a little bit, but that's how that line is plotted. All right. Then we get to Senku span B. All right. It is the most powerful level of support and resistance on the chart. Okay. It is, if you're looking for something that is the basically like the 200 day or the 20 day or the 50 day, you're looking for what the major level to watch is, it's this. It's the most powerful level of support and resistance. And just like the other averages, we're going to take the highest high and the lowest low. We're going to take the midpoint of that. But instead of plotting the line like we do with the Tenkan-sen and the Kijin-sen, or the baseline and conversion line and baseline, we're going to take the midpoint of that and project it for 22 periods. So again, wrap your head around it. I don't have the candlestick chart up there, but for Bitcoin, we take the last 52 days. All right. Whatever the midpoint is of the last 50 of the high and the low of the last 52 days, that is projected forward 26 periods. And that's what's right here. And that's why you see Senku span B, a lot of times it'll run flat for longer. And this is one of the behaviors of that level, is that the longer it lasts where it's flat, the stronger it is. And I don't think I put this in the PowerPoint, but I did talk about it kind of at the beginning of the stream, talk about Ethereum's chart. The closer A and B get, so the smaller the cloud gets, the weaker it is. So even though Senku span B is the strongest level of support and resistance, if A is basically right on top of it, it kind of negates that strength. It kind of becomes it's going to act as support and resistance about as well as a column made of boiled spaghetti noodles that hold up a building. Not very well at all. Okay, and then the Kumo twists. I'll go over those if we have time here. Kumo twists, that's when, probably if you've read my stuff, I reference it every once in a while, but Kumo twists are when the cloud basically changes color. Okay. I'll get into those. Kumo twists are really kind of neat. But let's go back to slides. What? That's not what I wanted. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so God, this is an old chart. Oh, I remember that. I remember fucking euro. Okay, so this is what this is a nightmare. Just look at this. Look at this. Look at this chart where you have this is the euro dollar forex pair. Look at the trading behavior, the price action on the daily chart when it's made any contact with the inside of the cloud. It's horrible. The most recent really good example of how much of a suck this is. This was last year in on Bitcoin's chart. My wife is really frustrated. I shouldn't laugh. Remove those. This look back here in 2023. All right, like we spent 20. God, how long was that? 30. Oh, geez, 32 weeks where Bitcoin was inside the cloud. Now, if you remember this at all, last spring all the way until the beginning of fall, it sucked. It was fucking horrible. I mean, it was miserable. I mean, it was frustrating, like a mosquito in a mannequin factory. An irritating experience, and that's the kind of thing that you expect and should expect, and that will happen if you're inside the cloud. So, people during that time period. This is why I love technical analysis more than fundamental analysis. People were, and I was writing about it too. People were like, "Oh, why is this happening?" Blah 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 blah. It's because it's inside the cloud. That's all. That's all you need to know. So that was last year. But the point I'm trying to make is that you don't. You, it's where trading accounts go to die. Okay. That is what the cloud is. Okay. And whatever time frame you execute your trades on, whether it's a 5-minute chart, a daily chart, monthly chart, a weekly chart, whatever time frame you execute a trade on, the first question when you look at a chart with the Ichimoku system, the first question you should ask yourself is it inside the cloud? If the answer is yes, just go away from it. All right. Make a little note in your trade journal saying it's inside the cloud. That's all you really need to write. And then put a date to check it again and the price levels above it and below the cloud where, if you notice it, then you can look at it again. But if it's inside the cloud, it's dead to you. Okay. It may whisper sweet nothings to you and say that everything's gonna be okay. It'll never hurt you again. Take me back. Blah blah blah. No, it's full of lies and deceit. And if you have to remember, everything bad that exists in the world exists inside the cloud. Right? Again, this is what the cloud is. This is what it contains. Okay, Hitler, Hamas, Putin, Cilantro, Gary Gensler. Maybe it's a little unfair to Gary Gensler but I don't know. I think you get the point. So if it's inside the cloud, you just want to stay away from it. Okay. And that in a nutshell is the Ichimoku system. Okay. Without getting into some of the more advanced stuff, we'll just leave it right there. It's hard to summarize the Ichimoku system. It's just one of those things that really can't summarize very well. It just doesn't work like that. So, yeah. All right. Yeah, Bitcoin's weekly chart. I mean, this is looking very bullish across the board, breakout wise. I think I look at my articles. This is from June 26th. Article I put on X, June 26th. Most important trend line to watch on Bitcoin's chart to watch. Let me pull that. You know what? I don't. What? When did I? I don't remember which chart I drew that on. Oh, yep, it's up here. So this is the what it looks like now. This is the weekly chart for Bitcoin. This is what it looks like now. This trend line is called technical term for is a dominant interior trend line. Um, if you want to trade like the pros, don't use the trend lines that you draw from obvious levels. Draw the ones that are connecting the peaks and the troughs of the intra trend swings. That's the most important. It should look like this. I'm saving you from like a $2,000 class that some people charge for this. But this trend line, and let me just make it a little bit more clear, get rid of all the stuff on here. This is a dominant interior trend line. Okay. It connects the and for cryptos, I typically only use the bodies. I don't know why. Actually, I do know why. I know they just it's a volatile ass instrument. Even Bitcoin is. So I've had more success with this anyway. So this is what the trend line I'm talking about. But the article, most important trend line to watch on Bitcoin. The interior trend line for Bitcoin is proven to be one hell of an important level to watch. We broke down below that. I went through, we looked at this. I wrote about it in the light paper several times. So this is what it looked like on April 2nd, and then April 17th, and then May 1st. And then this article is written on June 18th. That's where we're sitting at. So dropping below that was ugly as hell. But since then, it hasn't been so bad. We've, July, beginning of the month, really sucked, tanked below there. And last week's close was the best since I think February, right? Yeah. We've traded back below it again, but so far we're still holding above it. Now it's Friday, and we don't close the week out until a Sunday, which I find kind of annoying. But as long as we're above this angle, that's bullish. And some people might interpret this as a bull flag or whatever. I mean, regardless, it looks very much like a continuation move higher, doesn't it? Yeah. So that is that on Bitcoin. And then if you are an Elliotician and you want to look, actually, if you go to my X account, profile, whatever it is, and where'd that go? Here. I have pinned on my what's this? The worst part of Bitcoin is unfair associated concepts like sound money and limited government. God damn that guy. Peter Schiff. I'm a huge fan of him. I agree with 90% of what the dude says. 99% of what the dude says, but he's dead wrong about crypto. And I don't know, like, this guy, big gold bug, big like doomsayer, and he's right. But the thing is that he'll have spent, like, in a couple of years, he'll have spent half of his investment career like shitting on the greatest wealth generating opportunity of anybody's lifetime, and he had spent half of his career missing out on it. It's just the saddest thing to me. What a horrible legacy. All right. So what was I talking about? I forget. Talking about something about. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Brian. I'm good. How are you? Ish. Oh, what are these Zcash sunglasses? Privacy is normal. Dude, Zcash is pretty nice. Okay, what time is it? Oof, 11:30. I gotta get some food. What does this say? Oh. Any other questions? Oh, yeah, my neck is killing me. You well, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things that look really nice. I wouldn't even worry about market cap. I would look at things that have existed for at least one bear market and still exist. From a fundamental perspective, the things that worry me about projects are those that, they have a fancy website, blah 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 blah, nice graphics, but if they don't update their blog, or maybe they have like a medium um site. I mean, if they're not updating stuff, if their social media is not active, I I think there's something wrong with them. Um, it's a I hate the word ghost chain, but yeah, like if you want to see activity in crypto projects, I mean, if you're looking at it from an investment perspective, that's what you want. Um, yeah, so yeah, yes, yeah, probably yeah. Monday, I'll definitely do this again. So not the same time as the crypto town hall, but yeah, yeah. And you can drop me a line, message me. I mean, you can message me on X or on stocked WhatsApp too. Yep. Yeah, I have not. Somebody asked me about if I have transferred my Ajax Singularity Net over to Fetch. I haven't. Waiting till like uh everything switches over to the ASL token, ASI token. Um, it's the Artificial Superintelligence Alliance. That's Ocean Protocol, Fetch AI, and Singularity Net. They have merged into their own entity, and you have to go to the uh, website to get a look at the um to get a look at the number of what the conversion rate stays. So it doesn't matter if you transferred it right away or if you wait a year. The conversion rate to the ASL token is going to be the same. It's fixed. Yeah. Anyways, I got to bounce. I hope you all have a good rest of your day, and I will talk to y'all later. As soon as I figure out which tab, have everything open on there. It is right there. Oh, logistics deepen. Yeah. Chris, sorry, I missed that one. I wasn't looking at the tab over there. My bad. But come on Monday, I'll take a peek at it.